Hey, John.
Hey, Chip.
You believe it's December 10th?
Short sleeves?
Short sleeves, sun
Yeah.
shining, no snow on the
I
ground.
I got sleeves on.
No. You do have sleeves on. Yep. But it's a great day to take a hike on the nature trail.
Great day. And Chip, we have a really neat nature trail to take a hike on that I've worked on different parts of it through the summer and give you a little warm-up history about it. It's the Martha Jane Campney Trail. She was the daughter of Art and Joe Campney. They were very strong in camp ministry.
Okay.
And in fact, I think they built the first like little hogan down on this lagoon, the old river channel. And
that was when really first was just getting off the ground.
no
wasn't
buildings,
it?
no
buildings, no nothing.
Hogan, first building. And
Yeah.
they were canoeing down there and stuff. But Martha had a short life, and so we have a memorial and a nice nature trail that Dennis Nicholson, one of the director managers here at the camp, developed and had it ready for the camp's 20th anniversary. So,
Which would be
1976.
76. Yeah.
So I'd like to let's take everybody on a little nature walk, and got different signs along the route that point out things about the nature and the forest.
Yeah, and tying this nature trail different than if you went to, say, Annette Nature Center or some of the conservation areas. Here we're tying faith into nature and the appreciation of both, right?
Right. Exactly. And and we actually, to tie in more, we have youth that come out and work on this trail to keep it in shape too. So
yeah, some youth groups have been extremely helpful in maintaining this trail and making some upgrades for us. So we'll point out one project in particular along the way today.
yes, a very important project.
Yeah. It's a nice spot, John.
Yeah, Chip, this was put in probably about 5 years ago. It's a bench, we were hoping along the trail here to get benches for people to sit, take a break, relax, enjoy the nature, hopefully not pull out their cell phone. But we have a book house behind us that we put like little nature books in there or Bible study messages that people can just sit back, reflect in those. And hopefully we get more benches along the trail.
Yeah, it's always nice. There are some lovely spots along the trail that lend themselves to just sitting, relaxing, and listening, renewing, and just slowing down and catch your breath. And sometimes we get in a big hurry.
We do. We just need to learn to relax, and what an opportunity to come down this trail.
Yeah.
Chip, this is a really neat spot on the trail that I like. You know, if you had like a light rain and stuff, it sort of comes down the hill beside the trail. And then we have solid sandstone, so it's like a sandstone riverbed that's solid right through here. And somebody's put a little bridge here to walk across so you don't get your feet wet.
Yeah, it is a nice spot, and yeah, especially I love the spot in the spring because it's one of those spots that greens up early with the water, like you say, running off and down the sandstone. The little plants along the edge and the moss and lichen and all that stuff. It's so nice after winter to see a splash of green, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of those spots that greens up quick because of that water runoff, and it's just a pretty spot in the spring, especially in the spring. It always is, but
So we goes and we have our own little waterfall.
yeah, there's a series down in here of more sandstone, right?
Yes, and you know, and this little sandstone riverbed is what, about 50 feet long, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. It's been exposed, so.
So it feeds down there, and then it tumbles out the rocks all the way down as it heads off to the southwest, west,
Pretty much west.
pretty much west. Yeah, so just a lovely spot.
And we got more.
Here we go.
Chip, you look a little nervous there.
I'm trying to work with my terrain here.
So the terrain on this trail gets pretty tough. And what I'm leaning against is a rail that keeps me from falling down the hill because it gets steep. And sometimes walking on the side of the hill, some people lose their balance. So we put up like a little safety rail for people to grab to slow them down if they lose their balance because they're looking at nature and like, whoa, or something like that. See, but behind us, nature again, have this nice big old walnut tree that fell right across the path. It's, you know, we talked about how sandstone, you know, trees couldn't get their roots deep enough. You know, yes, in some places they didn't, and some they didn't, could and couldn't. And this big old walnut fell across the trail, and I can't get to it to pull it out and save it. So I'm working on it, and so hopefully by the end of the day, I'm going to have this log out of here, and we can have the nice straight path again. But and then we'll keep the root ball maybe over here where we can look and count the rings on the tree and talk about the history, how it fell over.
Yeah, and you're keeping and walnut wood is a real nice wood to work for woodworking, cabinetry, different projects, right?
Yes, if you got time and the knowledge and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a real nice, valuable wood. So hoping we can salvage this, make lemonade out of lemons, so to speak.
Yeah.
We lost the tree, but if we can get some lumber out of it to use for camp, great.
Yes, and this tree's been here probably about 2 years. I just haven't had time to save it to get it out of the woods.
And it is not a simple project. It's difficult getting back in here. It's a difficult salvage operation, so the timing has to be right and everything has to come together to get it done.
Yes.
And you mentioned the root ball and the trees falling over in sandstone. If you look at the profile of this root ball, there is no depth to it. It's just flat, base of the tree, and then it spreads out, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing going down to
There's no
anchor it.
Tap root.
So,
The biggest roots are on the downhill side, and what went into the hill are thin and few
yeah.
for a tree that's almost 2 feet in diameter.
Yeah, it amazes me that this tree
Survived.
lasted as long as it
Yeah.
did. Yeah, amazing, really. So, and I suppose the erosion of the bank probably had a little bit to do with it going.
The weather, the climate, you know, we've had lots of hard rains in the last 10 years that
Yeah, rains and winds and ice storms and
everything.
you name it. It's Iowa, as they say.
Okay, let's go. Chip,
John?
this is my invention. It's pretty common, but I've been here for several years, and this hill always washed out. People would put boards in there crosswise, you know, and water would come down and wash it out. And I finally got a brainy idea to put steps in there without tread up the hill. So some of the older camper counselors, people that have walked this trail, this is the one that goes off the Martha Jane Campney Trail up to the Sandstone Cliffs. And so had the local youth group this summer. We all had to wear a mask, but I built the steps, we put them down here, and then they helped level some of the trail off, and they took that dirt and filled the steps with dirt, and then we put like little water diversions off the side so they will not wash out, and they will be permanent for future generations. Not every year we have to fix this, the old steps cut into the ground. So a big improvement here.
Is a big improvement and safer.
Safer. It's got a handrail.
It's got a handrail. You know, this time of year, you know, it hasn't, they were just saying on the news today, it hasn't rained. We haven't had precipitation for 2 weeks, up until now. So everything's really dry at the surface level. And you get these dry leaves on a slope, and it just kind of feels like you're on a slip and slide sometimes, right?
Right. You don't know what's under your foot.
Yeah, they could be, you know, those rocks end up like marbles under there or sticks or whatever. So this eliminates some of that slip and trip hazard, makes it safer for people to walk, easier for them to navigate, and makes it a lot easier going uphill too.
So trivia question for future people, how many steps are there? Don't count them now.
More than 2.
Okay, Chip,
We are.
we are at the end of the Martha Jane Campney Trail, and you know, when I first come, my theory was all trails come out somewhere, and so we're at a key point here. We got the Sandstone Cliffs there,
Yep.
up in front of us, and we've got the old river channel, and today it has a little water in it, so it might be fun to walk through it. And then we got the
Fun to walk through. It's got some ice too, John.
yeah, well, you can try skating on it. And then we got the old road with a few trees in it growing up that they used to haul the sandstone out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting to think about, having them come back in here. Was that long enough ago where they would have used horses, or would it have been tractors, or?
You know, I talked to our resourceful guy, Gary Morrison.
Yeah.
He was thinking back in the early 1900s, so I think
Okay.
they were trucks. And he tried to tell me he thought there were scales down here that they weighed the sandstone on.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have no clue. So
Interesting. Yeah, interesting bit of history with this road and the sandstone cliffs up in front of us off to our left. And then the lagoon, there used to be a river behind us.
Yep.
A lot of changes over the years.
Lots of changes.
You know, and the nice part about camp being here is youth groups and volunteers and people can be a part of history at camp, right?
They can be, Chip. They can help work on the trails, and when they work on the trails, they get to see the nature. They get to see the importance of taking care of nature. Like one of the things we didn't stop at, there was an old dead tree. Somebody would say, cut it down, it's a hazard, but it was full of holes and all kinds of critters would live in that. So
yeah, woodpeckers, chickadees, nuthatches, all those cavity nesters just love that piece of habitat that's there. It's, you know, sometimes people look at it as junk or garbage.
yeah,
Nature doesn't know what garbage is. It uses and recycles.
everything has its purpose.
Everything has its purpose. And you think about some of those youth groups that have invested in this trail that we are still using today years ago.
And I know we say a lot about youth groups, but we have adult groups too. I mean,
We do.
After people retire, they, I say the volunteers in mission, and nomads too.
Yeah, we've got a nomads group coming up in fall, in September, I believe it is, where they'll come. We've had VIM, Volunteers in Missions, come and help before, and we've had just some of our local churches have adult groups that want to get together, men's groups or mixed groups or UMWs that want to come out and do service work at camp so that they can pay it forward and make a difference for others in the experience they had there at camp. And it's fun to know that people made a difference here over 60 years ago that we're still reaping the benefits of today.
Yes.
So you plant seeds and nurture them and watch them grow, right?
Yep.
So thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the walk as much as we did. December 10th. It's a beautiful day. Wish you were here.
And it's uphill going back.